Alright everybody, another Silver Hunt Sunday here for you. I've got a few little additions and some conversation about when to make those right choices when you're planning some things for the future and you've made some investments. And we're going to talk about that in this video. Stay tuned. Alright, welcome back everybody. Canadian Silver Saver here, and this week's Silver Hunt Sunday doesn't have a pile of stuff to share with you, but it's going to be a good time to have some conversation about when it's time to make those right choices and when you maybe shouldn't be buying and putting your money towards some other things. So, as you can see here, I've got the Maple Leaf. This is the one that is part of the 500 subscriber giveaway. Make sure you check out that video. I'll link it at the end and put it in the description at the bottom, made by Vulcan. Wonderful, wonderful stuff by Vulcan 5678, of course. Everybody, we love this guy. Pouring beautiful stuff as always. My wife has become a real fan of his wife's pours and keeps asking me if something is on the way from her, and I'm just kind of waiting for the right opportunities here. So I'm going to talk about that here. So the 500 subscriber giveaway too. Remember, if you donate to Sick Kids Foundation, you have a chance for extra ballots towards winning this, and second and third prizes as well. Check out that video so you can get all the details in it and all the rules and how you can earn extra ballots, and it'll help out Sick Kids Hospital. We're at just about $300 now in donations, which is fantastic, and I really appreciate all the support. So first thing that I'm going to show you guys here, just a couple of nuggets. You know, you got you've seen these before. You know that I like my little poured silver pieces here that I can kind of play around with. Don't really need to wear the glove for these, but like them. So Monarch Precious Metals, they always make these good little nuggets. They're nice. They're all generally a little bit different because of the way the stamp is and the way they pour them, but they're 1 ounces. They're always nice to add in there, and eventually I want to have a little chest full of these. Somebody just made a comment about that, and also getting some Beaver Bullion ones. The Viking rounds that I have as well, and that was pretty awesome. It would be a great idea. So just adding those there, and it's just keeping the cost down, making some choices on what I'm going to spend. And then the only other thing I have to share with you guys in terms of actual silver that I got this week was this guy here. So this is your Honker, Canadian 1967 Canada Goose, and the some great toning on it. Some of it's not as well, it's speckled there. Spotted, I guess. But yeah, the nice coin. Got it for a good price. Went into the jewelry store, not a pawn store, but a jewelry place. He does some silver as well. Didn't have anything on the counter. He said, "Let me go check." Came out and didn't have much in my pocket. I just wanted to spend cash, and so this is all I picked up that day. A couple other $50 half dollars. But I didn't have anything else with me. So, and that's what this is kind of about this week on Silver Hunt Sunday. I talked to you guys about there's going to be upcoming where I'm going to be doing 100 days of silver stacking, and there's some choices that you have to make when you're making a commitment to things like that. And it's not that I'm buying silver every day, but it's just to show you guys what I'm doing and the deals I'm looking for. And as you know, in my previous videos, I've talked about how I've made a bit of a career change, quite a bit big of a career change, and I now have a home business that I'm trying to get moving here. It's doing all right, but I really need to kick it into high gear to make sure that I can make a career of it. I'm also considering the fact that as time goes on here, everybody, you know, the ability that the common man has to buy silver will eventually dwindle away, I believe. I think it will become harder and harder as the buying power of currency will become more difficult to spend on things. It's not so much the way the markets will go with this. I think that will obviously affect things, but I think it depends on what happens with our dollar and buying power and minimum wage and all those types of things that affect this right now in world events, right? So when you're, you know, worried about you know, where your finances are going to go and what you're going to do, you have to plan properly for all that, right? So with the new business, I've got to put some investments into that, but I want to be able to keep investing in my silver and gold, and I'm going to actually make some pretty substantial investments in that, and also some stocks as the next few weeks comes along, and I'm going to talk about that in the video, or in the videos, 100 days of silver stacking. But this here is just really because I haven't been spending much in terms of cash flow and all that. It's been reduced greatly. A lot of my funds go through online and PayPal and things like that now, which takes time to get the bank account, which gives you a few days to think about making a choice on if you're going to buy something, and it's kind of interesting how that controls your thought process a little bit. Now the PayPal, of course, I could order online and pay with PayPal, but then I'm going to pay penalties on that, and I don't want to put up my premiums on coins when I can wait to buy this stuff as well. And I know that very shortly I have some investments that turned out very well for me. Everybody played the stocks a little bit. You know, grains and things like that can end up being quite a lucrative little payoff here and there, depending on world events. So things happen where I'm going to be able to fund the business a little bit more, really drive that and focus on my investments, so that down the road my wife and my son and my family have a good future. They don't need to worry. You know, I think that we talked about this in the chat, and Ikeo mentioned about investments now versus the future, and he's extremely savvy with that, and I encourage everybody to watch Ikeo's channel. You will learn lots from this guy. But we had a good open conversation about, you know, do you spend your money now or do you save it for the future? And I'm even shifting my retirement into equity that I can hopefully build wealth with now, so that my family are much more set than you know, if and when I pass on. Hopefully it's not for a long time. I guess it'll be when I pass on, but you know, everything's looked after and it's very easy for them. I have all my geese in a row, we'll say, and we'll make sure that their future is set. And one of those things is property. I'm actually looking at the fact that if you consider the way the markets change, you know, we can buy silver a bit more than we can buy gold usually, because you can spend, you know, in Canada right now, this is $22. That's what a 1 ounce of silver costs in Canada, plus your premiums. And you know, but an ounce of gold I think is about $1,500 right now. Don't quote me exactly on that. But that's a big difference in being able to walk into your store and spend some of your hard-earned dollars on that when you're doing a job for somebody else. So the idea is to get to a point where I'm able to live, pay for my life and all that without having to work for somebody else all the time, and I'm getting closer to that every day. And property is going to be like the gold is in this situation, I believe. As time has gone on, even the last few months, property is going up 10-15% in around where we are, and being able to buy property in town is becoming a pipe dream, really. It's you're going to have to move outside of town probably about an hour, whereas a year ago we seriously could have done it really without consideration, you know, it would have been fine. So as the market changes and as property goes up because they decide that it's worth more because of whatever reasons, and they also reduce what you can do on your property because they want to give restrictions, and we don't have rainwater restrictions here and stuff like that. You can collect your own rain barrels, but I understand there are states that you actually can't, which I think is ridiculous. But that's a whole other set of videos. But you know, there's going to be a point where as the property, as housing goes up, unless you're going to score a foreclosure, and then I don't know, you know, there's a whole lot of karma. Ooh, hand in the camera, that's not good filming. There's a whole lot of maybe bad karma that comes along. I believe in that stuff, guys, and I think that maybe taking advantage of somebody's losses isn't the way how you should be getting gains, right? You know, there's little times where we'll do that in situations like this, but I mean in something major like that where you're taking somebody's property, and I even said to my wife one day, what if we get something like that and then they show up on my doorstep with a shotgun, right? And this is my house. So, but those are things that we're really looking at, because unless it's going to be a steal of a deal like that, or an inheritance from a family or something passed down to you, I truly believe that not only myself, but for sure my son, who's just about to be 18, will not be able to buy a house because it's just going to be far too difficult to do, and it's going to have to be people working together, or it's going to be townhouses only, things like that. You know, detached homes with property, and the ability to afford that without building wealth first is dwindling. So if we can get on that soon, I think that's a good choice to do right now, guys. So looking at marijuana stocks in Canada, they're something that's really seems to be making a lot of gains for people that I know. Not to get political on that side of things, but I think it's one of those conversations where most of us realize that yes, it may be illegal right now, so that's why people people don't do it because, or you shouldn't do it because it's illegal. And that's the way the law should be. But when it gets changed, and I truly believe that's about to happen very soon for us, and on a federal level, which means our provinces can do what they want to do without having the federal government come in and stop the dispensaries and stuff like that, which happens in the US, of course. We've heard lots of times. California will have some great dispensaries helping out the veterans and people with MS, and who truly speak to how they were on, thousands of dollars worth of drugs, that it was giving them tons of side effects. It was killing them in the process, changing what they're doing, and then the federal government comes in and stops. It changes these people's lives, and the federal government comes in and stops these dispensaries because on a federal level it's illegal. Well, in Canada that's about to change, and on the federal level I believe it's about to become legal, which means that opens up the doors for a lot of opportunity for people to get better and get the medicine they need, and obviously a chance to make some money on that, because it's going to be the funding on that and the way it's going to explode. And that's already happened in the last 6 months in the stock market. If you guys want to check that out. Diversify, everybody. I know it's, if you don't hold it, you don't own it, and that is true when I'm talking about stocks. But I play stocks on a very short term, very, very short term. If you want to talk about this as like a graph here, here's stocks and what I do, and silver and gold aren't even on the screen here, because these are long-term gains that I'm not really worried about what's happening in the market right now, unless I need to pay off some debts or investments, or maybe get a little bit of more of a down payment on a house or something like that to kind of nudge it along the way without tapping out all of another area of my investments. So those are just some suggestions I have, guys. Maybe a little insight into how I think about what I do and why you don't see a lot here. And then just at the end here, I want to feature something. So this is my shout out video for the week. And this isn't because he needs the shout out, everybody. This is because the guy's really close to 1,000 subscribers and he deserves the shout out. He's a great guy. I got this. Here's the beautiful bag, so you might recognize that. And I'll show you here. Got it over Christmas. Things got hectic. Trying to get it in a video and make sure I do credit to the wonderful gentleman, Mr. Zeke. So Mr. Zeke, he's on his way to 1,000 subscribers, everybody. He's you'll see him there soon. That's phenomenal to see, and he deserves all the love that he gets because he's a great guy. He's extremely supportive of everybody in the community, and an honest guy too, so you can really, who he is, and you can appreciate that. So this is the number 6 pour Christmas snowman, and I'll just dump it out of the bag here. And you'll see here, and I'm sorry that this is so, it's in January here and we're featuring it, but there's that guy, and it's absolutely awesome. This has been in my community box. I love it. I showed my wife this at Christmas, and I have to be honest, I kind of was going to give this as a gift to somebody. I decided something else was for them. I wasn't exactly sure what I was doing, but when I had it in hand and I saw this, I couldn't let it go. I had to keep it. So thank you, Mr. Zeke, for that. Everybody check out his channel. Just a real quick kind of shout out to Mr. Zeke. He doesn't, he's been around a good long time. He's a great supporter, does some great pours, and really just awesome guy to talk to in the community. He's helped out so many people. And with a shout out to that, Mr. Zeke, I want you to hear this. Beaver Bullion, as you know, is a great guy, and I've been featuring his product, and he's the really only professional hand pour silver in Canada, and what's happened with his business over the last couple of years has really exploded. And when I was talking to him, he gave a shout out to Mr. Zeke, saying that he learned stuff from Mr. Zeke by watching stuff on YouTube, watching the videos on YouTube, and seeing some pouring techniques and things like that. Now, John at Beaver Bullion pours different, kind of a different way, because he doesn't use an oven, but he definitely learned some great techniques, and we were talking about that the other day. And so shout out to you there, Mr. Zeke. You're part of that guy's success. So awesome. Love to see that, and love to see how supportive this community is. We're at a couple $100 for the charity, and almost $300, and I appreciate all of that. Take care, everybody. I'll see you on Thursday with my next video. I might do a video update through the week about the charity, but Thursday for sure, with a little bit more about silver and what I'm doing. And I'm really looking forward to sharing 100 days of silver stacking with you guys starting in February. I've got some great ideas, and you're going to see some things where I just got coins along the way too, and how I try to turn those into a few extra dollars and make some money so that I can buy some silver and things like that too. All right, we'll talk to you soon. And yeah, stay warm out there, everybody. Canadian Silver Saver, out.